You are welcome back. We are still watching the lifestyle segment of the weekend show. And we'll be discussing women in community building, the importance, the reasons, and also advocacy behind it. Joining me this morning, we have two women in the studio that I'm so happy to see. Good morning, ladies.
Hi,
Good morning, Aisha.
Thank
How are
you.
you?
How are
I'm
you?
great.
You
I'm
look
great.
gorgeous.
Thank you so much. You all are shining. You're blinging. I'll start with Dr. Khadija Abdullahi, who's the founder of Women of Africa Community, and then we have Dr. Mimunat Salim, who's the chairperson of the summit coming up very soon.
Yeah.
You both have been doing a lot. You
Yeah.
have a lot coming up as well.
Correct.
And I just want us to digest it and see how we can let the viewers know what this all about. We've heard about community building, we've heard about the roles of women in community building, but what do you intend to achieve with the summit coming up with women in African communities?
So, thank you very much, Aisha. Thank you for having us. So, I think the best way to go about it maybe is to tell you a little bit about how it started.
Sure.
Maybe that way we'll be able to build on, unpack what the question is all about. We started off I'm a publisher. I'm a publisher for SI Magazine Limited, and we did some social experiments and researches and found out that in 2016 we had about every 10 girls, there were about 6 of them that were sexually abused almost every day.
Oh my God.
We found out that 4 boys were abused in 10 boys every day at that time, and it was devastating for me because I'm a mother. And I felt that it is not enough for us to be sitting down and talking about this and just writing about it or doing amateurish documentaries and all of that. I think the best way to go is to have true, real conversation, because what was scary for me, Aisha, was the fact that we will, in another few years, what kind of children are we going to have in leadership position? Why are we not sitting down and talking about this thing? So it went through a lot of processes, and I don't want to get into that. Finally, we decided that let's have a summit. And that summit, we put up a committee and all of that. We wanted it to be very powerful and reverberating. I had to go to the US to see if we can get somebody like Oprah, because she was abused.
Yes.
To get people
the
like
story.
Michelle Obama, because at that time I think they've left office, and we wanted some, you know, Nigerian mentality now. If you have people like that, it will let people hear you. So we did that. Cut long story short, we were able to get some momentum, gain some momentum, and then at the end of the day, coming back to Nigeria, the legislators that were supposed to sign for us for their entrance and signing that, because it was the time of Boko Haram and all of that, we couldn't get them in. Cut long story short, so we decided to do it by ourselves. But what the original template was for us to have academicians, professionals, gender specialists, mothers, parents, teachers, everyone in the same room and talk about this. Because I think that it's one of the things that people try to talk under the carpet.
Yes, and hide away.
And hide away.
Yes.
And it's not helping anybody. We found out that almost everybody that we know had been sexually abused one way or the other.
And how did that make you feel, you know, having that? Even Dr. Mimuna, you can share with us, how did that make you feel, seeing that even in your close relation, there are people that are undergoing this sort of brutal abuse, we can call it that.
Yes.
How did that make you feel?
You know, the one thing I've realized is that, and through research also, and also experience, is that abuse is a cycle. And it's a pandemic in a lot of families because it's a continuum. And if we do not address it at the early stages, it will continue. It becomes a cycle in many families. And it's quite heartbreaking because you find that sometimes it's your own relatives, sometimes you find your own parents, and the mother would know about it, but because she's trying to keep the family together, she turns a blind eye. And as Dr. Khadija mentioned, it is so sad because we have this every day that we're dealing with in different communities. Like the summit that we have now always been putting together is attending the aspect of gender-based violence. And there's very different variables when it comes to gender-based violence. And how do you attend to them? How do you address them? And in this global society, our children are facing gender-based violence every day, even on the digital platforms.
Yeah.
But what
So
are we doing?
scary.
Are we educated enough? Are we educating them enough? So, women community in Africa, that's what we call ourselves. This is who we are.
Yes, WCAS.
WCA.
I love the
Yes,
vibe.
and we are a global, I call it a Pan-African global organization. And we look at impacting lives. We look at magnifying what we do. We look like elevating the status of our communities. We look at amplifying our voices in everything that we do. So yeah, abuse is there, but now we need to tackle it. And you tackle it how? Is by doing advocacy.
Yeah, having
You're
discussions
Having
as you're
discussions like
doing.
this. Open discussions. Because this is what we lack, is to talk the truth. Let's speak the truth.
So when it comes to women community in Africa, honestly, like I'm feeling so passionate about this. The way you're speaking, I see you are passionate about what
Yeah.
you do. And women are seen as the backbone of the family, the units of the family, of the home. So when it comes to the summit now, how are you all able to, like you said, although you are the unit of the family, how you let them to feel more, what's the word now, sort of comfortable with sitting back and accepting you need to work on yourself first before now able to help the family? What are some, maybe would I say, statements that you all are doing with the summit, or what are some activities within the summit that would promote that?
So that's why I was going there, that there's a template to everything. So you must know that the women community in Africa is a coalition of different NGOs. That's number one. You must also know that we have two thematic areas, which we're focusing on gender-based violence, and we are also talking about women in leadership and
Very
participation.
key.
Yes, it's
Women
very
in
key,
leadership.
because we feel that it's only when we have more women on the decision-making table, that's where we'll have more protection for our children and our youth. To come to your question about how we bring people together, after that first experience, we were able to sit down, do that summit, and then that was how the coalition, we didn't even know what we were doing when it started. But at some point, we were able to get people to sit down in that room, brainstorm. We had breakout session, we had everybody. We came up with very effective, very powerful outcomes from that summit, where we had action points that were supposed to ensure that, okay, number one, we design literatures that will put the girls, show which part to be touched and all of that. We were also assigned that we need to have a one-on-one conversation with children in different communities, which we did. We were able to do over 2,700 children.
My goodness.
Yes,
Wow.
and we were there, we go there, Aisha, when we were having that experiences in different communities, in different schools. We take a school, we'll go to 100, we ask them to give us 100 children. We talk, we demonstrate what they should do.
Demonstration is
Do you
very
know
key.
what happened? The children will ask you questions. So, if I tell you one heartbreaking story,
Oh, please don't
one
break my heart, Dr. Khadija.
one of our daughters in this school came to me and said that, so you said that there's soft touch and there's hard touch. My father touched me in the hard touch.
Oh my God.
So is it wrong that it is my father? Is it wrong that he's touching me in those places? We didn't know what to do. We were shocked. In one of the engagements that we also had, because part of the things that came out was to have a town hall with the children, with the parents, with the teachers, and everyone. We were in this Masaka community, and then one parent, one woman said she was going to break her silence, and she said that she was abused too. So it's all, there are so many things that came out of that first summit, which we took that template and replicated it year in, year out. But it took us 2 years to finish that communique.
And that's
so
where I'm going to
yes,
agree
because
that.
for us, we don't want a talk shop. We want anything, an action-oriented summit where we know that at the end of the day, we have programs lined out for us.
And that
to
brings
do.
me to my next question.
Yes.
It's about the summit in Kenya 2025.
Rwanda.
Rwanda, yes.
Yes,
I always get
Kigali.
Kenya, Rwanda, these are Africa. And
Yes,
I've never
'cause
been
it's
to any of them.
Africa. It's
It is
East,
Africa.
and
so
it's beautiful.
It is. Oh, I
Yeah.
wish so. I need to attend this. I will try. So now
Please
tell us
do.
more about the summit happening now in Rwanda
She's the-
2025. Let us know what to expect.
You also know of it very well. So she always likes to push it to me, right?
Yeah,
You need to
because
sound
it's a
chair.
baby.
But she's the founder. So, you know, the exciting thing is that I remember last year we had our summit. Okay, we had summits previously, and last year we had one focused on the digital space, looking at the cyber safety for the families. And what we do is in our summits, we cascade everything down to the communities so that they will be implementing the programs that we've now had from the communique. And then we had a town hall, which is a build-up to the summit on the 31st of July. And that was attended by the embassies, about 4 or 5 embassies attended, and also representatives of communities. And that's where we now spoke about what are we going to achieve at the summit. And when we made the decision last year, we said between I'm South African and based in Nigeria, and we said, is it South Africa, is it Kigali? Is it? And then we said, but what is the theme of the summit? And then we called from representation to protection. Looking at the leadership, women in leadership, and ending gender-based violence. So when you look at that now, we say, who are the custodians of women in leadership? And we found that it's in Rwanda. 63% representation of women in leadership.
Rwanda, wow.
And we said, okay, this is where we're going to go. And looking at Nigeria, where we are at in Nigeria, we said, no, we need to learn some lessons here. When we got there, where did we go? In June? We went there, and you know, the amazing thing is that you found a lot of women, young women in leadership. And apparently every time there's a position in governance, in a corporate society, the first candidate is a woman that they put in front. So I say, let us look at the summit. Let's do it here. And you know, we got people, different opinions about doing it there. And also my own country, I was ostracized. I said, why didn't you bring it to SA? But I feel like, you know, we have a lot to learn. They've been through adversities. They've been through challenges. They are a young country, but they've achieved so much.
I loved how you said that. They have achieved so much. And I'm super happy to know that women like you are letting women like us, you know, follow up and build community. Thank you so much for the work you are doing, your passion, your work ethic, and your determination. I'm excited. I need to find out, you know, how I can be part of this in Rwanda, and I will do that.
Absolutely. And it's from the 8th to the 10th of October. And we're also having a colloquium in New York, in Boston, with an MIT.
A build-up.
It's a build-up towards the summit. We've partnered with Peace Institute there.
That's so fantastic.
Thank
you
you
for joining me,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Maimunat and Dr. Khadija.
Thank
It's
you,
been a
Aisha.
pleasure.
Thank you,
Thank you
Aisha. This
so
has
much
been
for having
beautiful.
us.
Thank you
for
so
the
much. Keep
opportunity.
doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
All right, that's all we have right now for you on the lifestyle segment of the weekend show. I hope you enjoyed our conversations from women all over Africa, and of course, how you can continue to build with them all over. Be there at the summits in Rwanda, because I will do my best to be there as well. More on the weekend show. Sports coming right up. See you then.